Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the aftermath of the Network 2004 Euros game. Wow, fucking wow. If you tuned into the stream, you probably got a rough idea what's coming here. It's going to look like, well, I don't care how it looks like, to be honest with you. I'm very bitter, and I threw my toys out my pram, and so on and so on and so on, and I did. And I think it was, I had good cause. I definitely had good cause. The idea of what Matt Tierney wants to do here is great. And I've said this before, it's great. You get 16 people and, and we had a pretty successful World Cup. We had a couple of hiccups, and I always expect hiccups. There's a fine line between hiccups and utter bullshit, which is what I feel was the case yesterday. So I was eliminated, and my hat's off here to Holland. You saw this on the stream. Absolutely deserved to lose, and I underestimated Holland. I think it's fair to say I did underestimate them. This game against Poland, I was pissed off. I was 8 shots to 2 up on that. I was pissed off that nothing seemed to want to work. And I was pissed off in the build-up to these games because the Finland manager, he just kept getting booted back. You'll see that on the stream, and it was just absolute constant, right? Now, Poland and Finland managers, they're both friends. Anyway, so Finland's first game was against Poland, and I spotted he played a 4-2-4 long ball. That's just disgusting. So deservedly he lost. He then moved to a 4-4-2 direct. So, which begs the question, how convenient that he should go to a standard. I mean, that in itself is a little bit. And then the worst part of it is when I played Finland. As I played Finland, he was booted at the start just before the start of the game, right? Before the start of the game. And that was wib-wobbed, by the way. And that's a typical wib-wob formation. It's a horrible formation, but it was wib-wobbed. Now, he couldn't have set that wib-wob up because it was disabled. So what's happened is he was booted and he didn't have his holiday settings. Now, if I show you the holiday settings, what would happen is everybody was instructed that they must click that in case they get booted. Because boots are obviously quite common, and they do happen. But he didn't. He says he did, but he didn't, because if that was the case, that wouldn't have happened. So for me, it was pathetic. Absolute bullshit. And conveniently, that's what. I had to thrash Finland. I had to beat Finland by 2-0. That's what I had to beat them 2-0 in order to qualify. So for me, it was fast, and I have stated this that these 16-man games, they're not for me. There's too much bullshit. There's not enough people pressing continue. I had to force it. People not having their ready to press continue. And then when I did play Poland, again, you'll see this on the stream. When I did play Poland, the guy in charge of Poland, he changed the speed to fast twice. I had it on medium, he moved to fast. So, whoa, what the fuck? And he did it again. So for me, that is unacceptable for me personally. But do you know what? Forget that shit. So let's take a look now then at the groups and how they all finished. Group 1, Portugal were always going to be a big one for them. There's no doubt about that. Sweden scraped through. Stuart Danton made it. Russia, Matt was Russia, of course. That was quite a tight one, wasn't it? It really was quite a tight one. And Croatia finished in 4th. Now Denmark, Jesper Ronman, what a performance. That was an amazing group because Anthony Brown came in and took over Belgium at the last minute, as you may recall. We knew one big team was going to fall out this group. We did not expect it to be both of them. Germany and Spain eliminated at the group stages. In Group 3, France stood it on goal difference of England. Probably always the favourites, despite the very first game and how it went with France 1-1 and England and Norway winning. You've got to feel for Norway. And as we said, Group 4. The quarter-final went like this. Denmark 1, Sweden 2, France 2, Poland 0, Portugal 3, Belgium 1, and Holland advanced to the semis at the expense of England on penalties. And look at that. Fucking hell. Well, it's a coin flip, isn't it? When it gets to what's he looking like? When it gets to penalties, it is very much coin flip. But yeah, that's how that finished. On to the semi-finals. Sweden 0, France 2, Portugal 1, Holland 0. Portugal through to the final to meet France after extra time. And a very, very tight game. That was a real mouth watering. Both of those teams, I said, were very undervalued probably from my initial assessment. And France were always a team I expected to do well. I think Sweden have done well to get to the semis. Wait for it. The final's not been played yet. The final has not been played yet because of a little bit inconsistency, really. Somebody had gone for a bit, and a guy that was in the final then thought that was the end of the session. We'd play the final. Another guy. Then the other guy came back. So after all that, and I think it was about 10:15. So over 3 hours of the game being open, because I opened the game at 7. We started at, well, we didn't even start at 7:30, because after all the fucking around, we probably lost about 20 minutes, half an hour. But it didn't conclude. So we know who the final is. Now, I believe Matt Tierney's got the save now, because I've sent him it. And the final will consist then, France against Portugal. Let me remind you that Portugal are managed by Will Taylor, and France are managed by Johnny McGraw. The interesting thing is, both of those guys weren't in the original game of the World Cup. So, it'd be good to see any of those guys win. So, I'm really happy for them both to reach the final. It's hard to call it, really. I mean, let's just see how France did on them stats against Sweden. Deserved victory. It's very, very interesting. We'll see. And we'll have to stay updated on that and see how that flares up, because in the meantime I'm uninstalling the Lustenhoff. I don't want the Lustenhoff. I don't like it. And I didn't like this concept. That, like I said, the art of a network game is all about communication. And for me, if someone is struggling with network connections, a couple of boots, accept it, and just think, you know what, this isn't fair on you guys. Enjoy the game, guys. Apologies. Blah 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 blah. But no, in, out, the whole fucking... right. Anyway, that's it. That's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a fucking rage. Till next time, take it easy.